Well, happy Independence Day, folks. 4th of July 2019. Sweltering hot day where we live here in the northeastern part of the United States. Sorry you can hear the air conditioner running in the background. Can't turn that off because it'll get too hot too quick. But I wanted to just take a few minutes, share a few thoughts on America, the blessings we have of living here, and what it means to be the unknown American. Now, we live in an age today when everybody wants to be a celebrity. Everybody takes selfies, everybody wants to have their own website, everybody wants to be somebody just to be somebody. We have TV shows that claim to show ordinary housewives, ordinary loggers, ordinary truck drivers, ordinary swamp alligator hunters, ordinary duck decoy manufacturers. Everybody becomes a celebrity nowadays. And of course, we live in an age when celebrities seem to be the experts on everything. I mean, let's face it, everybody in Hollywood has an opinion about something. Usually it goes against what most of us believe and how most of us live, but you know, that's just the way it goes. But if you really think about it, why should we take the advice or assume the people are experts who, for a living, get to dress up in costumes and pretend? You know, they haven't really done anything other than the fact that they're talented in acting. You know, we just saw a movie that made a few $1 billion all about heroes. And yet every one of those actors is a fake hero. They haven't actually done the things that they showed and portrayed in the movies. They got paid millions and millions of dollars for showing up at a set every day, putting on their costume and reciting the script they were given. And then in between that, all the computer guys add their fancy animation and magic to make us go ooh ah in the movie theaters. But those aren't real heroes. You know, we've had many real heroes in this nation's history, people who sacrificed everything for freedom, everything for a future for us to have. And today we have millions and millions of heroes all across this nation, men and women who are unknown by most of the people and don't want to be known. They don't want to be celebrities. They want to live their lives, raise their families, work at a job or a career that they enjoy. They want to have their own homes. They want to celebrate. They want to go to church or synagogue on their Sabbath. And they just want to live a life that's free, without oppression, without others making them feel guilty, without others telling them how they should live. And that's the heart of what America is. That's part of living in the country, what it is there's freedom here that there isn't in other places, at least so far, and that's being encroached upon. But I guess perhaps one of the most recent examples of this is this nonsense about the Betsy Ross flag on the sneakers. Cut me a break. I mean, if I could have found a Betsy Ross flag in the store yesterday, I'd have replaced my regular one here for today with the Circle of 13, because you know what? That was the original American flag. That was the flag that Betsy Ross was commissioned to make by George Washington to represent the new United States of America when they fought for independence from Great Britain. Certainly wasn't the only one, but it's become one of the most famous. And to trash that by some spoiled multi-millionaire football has-been who has accomplished nothing else in his life other than he's got a platform and made himself a celebrity with social media, is just stupid. So at any rate, I'm sure many of you feel the same way, but I wanted to mention those things today. We have a lot to celebrate, we have a lot to be thankful for, and it's because of the sacrifice of real heroes who came before us. There are many, many stories you could read of people who sacrificed so much to make this the nation that it is. There are people who worked long and hard hours to provide food, to provide clothing, to provide homes. Everything that we have today, medical advances, other technologies, people who've risked their lives, their fortunes, their careers, their families to try to make a better life for themselves and for all who would come after them. This nation has never been equaled in the history of all of humanity with the amount of freedom and prosperity and opportunity that it has given to more people ever than anyone else who has ever lived. And we must never ever forget that, because it can be lost very, very quickly if we do. And if this is not being taught in the public schools or the public universities or the private universities, then shame on them for their ignorance and their blatant disregard for their own privileged situation that they find themselves within. How arrogant can people be to think that they should trash the very source of their own wealth, their own prestige, and think that there's something better out there, because there isn't on this planet. In human rule, America is as good as it gets. And these idiot socialists who somehow think that if we just have government be God, everything will be fine, are just the most ignorant, unaware people of history on the planet. Because everywhere the government has become God, whether it's a despot, whether it's a communist government, whether it's a socialist government, rights are destroyed, people are killed by the millions, and there's poverty, starvation, disease, and war. That's the history of removing God and removing freedom from the equation of governments. So we need to stand as Americans, the millions of us out there that are the unknown Americans, the people who don't crave celebrity, who don't feed their own ego by the technology we have today, the people who want to live just to have a peaceful, quiet life, a life where they can enjoy their children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, men and women. And I say men and women because I prefer biological science and not psychological dysfunction. Men and women who seek to have a good quality of life. America can still provide that if we trust in God and if we live lives without being fettered to the corrupt, to the megalomaniac, egotistical elitists who think they should run our lives for us. And so we need to keep our freedom free, keep our lives straight, and work to give something of value to our children and grandchildren after us. Independence Day is not just for us today, it's not just for those who came before us. It's for all those that we can look into the future and see. We need to pass along this blessing to them. And it starts with "In God We Trust," and it follows with keeping the freedoms that are embedded in our Constitution and away from the nonsense that's being taught today to too many people. So thank you for taking the time to listen to this rant. I pray that you have a wonderful Independence Day with you and your family. Go enjoy some fireworks or have a cookout or celebrate in some other amazing way. Watch a parade and be thankful that you live in America at this time and era, because there has never been anything better. Thanks for listening, and please subscribe to our channel.